working. She's just working.
Everything works in our favor.
Everything works in our favor.
That's amazing. No, sounds good. And yeah, and it's funny because I actually have a thing right here, a note card that says use the systems that you have.
Like
Because
deep,
sometimes we like forget that we already have everything that we need for real. It's in front of
right.
us. It's just maybe approaching it in a different way or having to become to have the perspective to see it and utilize it, and utilize it all the way in its full totality.
That's so good. Yeah, even the system that I used just before this call, I was like, my brother's just walking around with his phone on. Anyways, everybody's doing their own thing. I love it. Um, I was like, okay, I knew I needed to read this chapter, whatever. And instead of reading it, I listened to the audio of it, like in a almost sleep meditative state. And so I was like falling asleep as I was listening to it. And if you get to the next chapter, which we'll get to at some point, was chapter 2, where it's talking about sleep. But it's actually like a scientific proven method to retain the information at a subconscious level. And it's like, I just do that automatically. And I was like, this book actually teaches us how to do that. And so I'm excited for that chapter, but we'll get there when we get there. But first chapter is is pretty awesome. And so I was pretty excited about just in general, us picking this book at this specific time and place. And even some of the people that I've gotten to speak to over the last week, I'm like, this book. If people knew that they can practice the muscle of intuition, if they can practice the feeling, if they can practice those muscles, that we all know what it's like to go to the gym and practice lifting weights, doing squats, doing all this stuff. Nobody realizes that we can lift weights spiritually, we can lift weights mentally, we can lift weights with our breath, we can lift weights with our thought process.
I love
And
that.
the fact that we get to do that here, I was like, yo, that's actually what we do, is we're giving you guys ideas um, and thought process and systems for the mental game, for the brain science, the brain side of this game. And I was like, that's what we do. So it was a really cool realization.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. And it is true. That's why usually when they're saying to before you the 5 minutes before you go to sleep to make sure that you're listening to something tied to your future, tied to whatever freedom looks like to you, tied to whatever it is that you want to do 5 minutes before you go to sleep because you can begin seeping into that subconscious meditative state. So yeah, I definitely believe you, and we need to do it more in general with
Mhm.
anything that we want to do, whatever focus that we may have to start implementing that, as something where you just have it playing and you're listening to it, and obviously along the side of the daily methods and the things that you're doing. But yes, 100%.
Dude, I love everything about that. Hey T, welcome on, welcome on. I actually don't know if we've ever met, so it would if you have if you can show your face, I would love to meet you, or if you're just on voice message, it's all good.
Yeah, we met. We in
Okay,
person.
we did met.
I ain't been up here in a while.
Oh yes, you have. Now, as soon
Yeah.
as I heard your voice, I was like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, T has her own distinctive voice. You can spot T a mile away.
I was like, man, it's been a minute. How long has it been since I've seen you?
Awesome.
Couple
Almost like, almost like
Finally
a,
on here. I don't think I've been on yet. Yeah, I be forgetting. Be so many calls, man.
yeah, there's
I had
always
to put
something.
it in my schedule. But I think when we was in Florida, wait, was it Florida? Did you make it to
2 years
Florida?
ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Wow,
Kind of.
that's awesome.
That's so good. I'm so happy to see you.
It's good to see you too. But
This is going to
Yeah.
be a good call. Have you ever read The Feeling is the Secret?
have I read the feelings?
Y- Yeah, it's by Neville Goddard. It's really, really good. We've done a book club with it on
Mm-hmm.
on MMX. I don't think it's on. It might be on YouTube, but I don't think so though. Um, but it's really good. I actually found I wouldn't say it's the ebook, but it is kind of like a site dedicated to The Feeling is a Secret.
Oh, dope. You want to share
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it on here and then I need to remember to drop it in the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way and you can listen to it.
Yeah, you guys can listen to the audio on YouTube. You can also ask ChatGPT summarize the book, and it literally will. So, like, there's very few reasons not to get the information.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. I always say get the physical book because
Mhm.
there's a just different psychology behind it, a different effect. Um, it's pretty amazing. So yeah, I dropped it in chat. Let me drop it in the channel so I
Perfect.
actually don't forget as well.
I know we did. What is it? Awareness?
The
I
power
think
of
we read
awareness.
awareness
Yeah,
together.
that's the same. That's it. So exactly like that's the same author. That's the same author.
And that's a book that you guys we've been reading for like 3 years,
Forever.
4 years.
Like
Powerful.
I don't even have, I'm trying to figure out if I should. At this point, I kind of just leave it, but
Oh no.
yeah.
Keep that bad boy up.
Yeah, because it's just so old and I go everywhere with it.
I think you can get a rebinding. You could probably rebind a book.
Yeah, I was looking into like book repairing and stuff, and it's so funny because like the everything is here is just like the front page.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's like it's I kind of like it because it just shows like
You've
the
read the
repet
dang thing. You've read it over and over and over and over and over
just the
again.
repetition, and it's funny. Like I feel like even now, it's like I still don't know this book because
You learn something new every time.
yeah, and I'm like, and you know the fact that you are a different person every time that you get to information, the way that it was perceived, like you were saying, if people knew how to work on their higher faculties. The fact that we choose to grow, because you guys, growth is not automatic, it's a choice. Um,
Mm.
every time we choose to grow, we're becoming closer to the version of us that we're meant to be. So now when we come across the same information, we now see it for what it is as that person. And then it's just going to keep happening and it's going to keep shedding.
It's gonna keep going.
It keeps going. It doesn't stop, you know? And I was reading, I'm actually reading right now, John C. Maxwell, The 15 Laws of Growth. And it's pretty powerful. And it's, it's one of those things again, like you may have read it or, came across the information. And then now, like where I'm at now, I'm looking at the information and I'm like, this is wild. Like,
It
how
hits
come,
so
how,
different.
yeah, I'm like, how come I didn't see it in this way before? But again, you have to go through the things you have to go through. You have to become the person that you have to become. And one of the best things that I've been just passing on to everyone from, reading this book intentionally, is every time that you focus on growth, you pass your goals.
Hmm. What do you mean by that? You pass them like you surpass them?
Yeah, so the thing is, if you focus on growth, you will always hit your goals. But if you just focus on goals, you won't always hit your goals.
I love that.
I was like, when that happened for me, I'm like, yo. And it be the simplest things, but these are the simple things that we need to go to the next level to overcome certain things that we have in our minds and what we say and the levels that we're looking to hit, whether that's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. If you focus on growing in that subject, on that topic, in that thing, and you intentionally grow, meaning you're not afraid of mistakes, meaning it's okay if you fail, meaning it's okay if you don't get it right the first time, meaning it's okay if you do it in a messy, uncalculated way, but as long as you're willing to grow, you will always hit your goals. Your goal
Facts.
will always be met. And it not even kind of, it does so into your belief system. Because as you're doing that, guess what? You're increasing your confidence. No one can tell you anything because you already made up your mind, like, I'm gonna grow in this. I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna become this person. I'm gonna understand this information. I'm gonna get from A to B, with or without. And but most of the time when we are focused and when we're locked in on something or when we're growing or learning something, we're always focusing on like that goal, like, doing that thing,
Focus on the thing, not the.
hitting that, and it ties into the same thing with like it's about the journey, not the destination. But like, on a more specific level, it's you growing as a person, you growing. You have to have like a consistent growth plan and
That's so
everything
good.
that we're doing. Yeah.
I thought it was cool in the book where he talks about knowledge of the law of consciousness. And we talked a lot about like spiritual laws and physical laws and physics and math has laws and English has laws. But our consciousness is a law, the law of consciousness. And the method of operating this law will enable you to accomplish all your desires in life. Guys, there's a true, proven roadmap and a game plan, and whatever you want to call it, the master keys. If you want to call it a game plan, you want to call it a blueprint, they're all the same interchangeable things, but it says knowledge of the law of consciousness and the method of operating. This law will enable you to accomplish all your desires in life. We got the game plan.
That's it. That's the blueprint right there.
We got it. And so now we just have to constant spaced repetition. We learn things two ways, repetition or shock,
Emotional impact. Yep.
emotional impact. And so I would venture to
Hmm.
guess repetition takes a lot longer. Shock is a lot more in your face. Wow, like duh, because it's an emotional impact. So whichever one you want to go about doing, I'm totally fine with. Some things are going to be repetition and some are going to be an emotional impact. And the reason Femi and I talk so much about being live in person, whether it's on Zoom or in person at events, is because you get those shock factors. You get those wow moments. You get those aha moments of like you overheard somebody say something that totally and completely just radically changed a thought process in your mind because they're over there having a conversation about making XYZ number and you're like, I've never even considered that an option. And somebody over there is just casually, flippantly talking about it. Those, those
The
were things
best
that like
moments.
blew my mind. And I'm like, oh, I can think a lot bigger, a lot faster.
A lot sooner.
Yeah. And so those kind of things, those are the shock factor moments. And then the repetition is us doing separation Saturday, every single Saturday. That's a repetition. That's a rep. So being present, being live, like that's your reps. Um, but yeah, it's
No,
a lot that
I
we can
love
actually.
that. No, that chapter alone is something to keep dissecting.
Yeah.
Um, because of what just how it is and there's this one part in there that Actually, I did find I have to drop this too, so you guys can have this, but I'll do that after. Um, but in a portion of the book, it was it was talking about how the conscience itself, like you know how you're saying it's a blueprint,
Yeah.
and it was highlighting how like there's nothing there's nothing I'm trying to remember exactly what is said, but it's basically tying to what you were saying and how it's funny because it's not necessarily new. It's not necessarily something that is now being discovered, but yet all the new ideas come from it.
Yeah.
And and again, like you were saying, like if we realize, I think I found it. Um, when it was saying right, the conscience, da, 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 thinking the state you desire to realize, feeling the reality of state ought to. Nope, not that portion. I'll find it. But basically I think it's a great point as far as like self to focus on. And because this chapter alone, if you really understand it. And again, like I remember when I first read this, I read it, you know? Like I read it.
Reddit. Yeah.
And then when I read it again at the aspect of knowing like this is all I need.
This
That's
part.
it. Like this part right here and it focuses on um until like you assume that feeling until you accept it to be a part of you until it's your reality like it can't be expressed in your life.
That part.
It can't. So it's like it's only through accepting that feeling that it's your reality, that this is real. That's the only way that now everything will be able to be expressed. You'll become the person. You'll hit the goal. You'll see the results. You'll do the thing. How good can you get at feeling the feeling, assuming it? And the only reason why we have not yet gotten to whatever that may look like for you is because it's still unnatural for you.
Mm,
It's unnatural. It's still bizarre. It's still weird. It's not your norm. It's not consistent enough.
yeah.
It's not consistent enough. And that's what I was thinking about when I read that portion. Because when you said it, I was like, dang, like, that's so true, bro. This is it. This is like your subconscious is really all you need. And I believe the reason why people think that there's so much else into play because of the repetition that you have to do. The
Hmm.
repetition of habits, the repetition of your words, the repetition of your daily everything. What you do when you wake up, how
Do
you
you
speak.
do you remember when you started personal development? Do you remember the year? If you do, I
20,
had this.
2021, 2022.
Okay,
Like actually knowing.
like that you were doing personal development.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, okay, okay, okay. Somebody told me about this personal development stuff. I
There's
remember
a big
like
difference. Yeah.
vividly, like 2015 was when I started personal development. So like we're at a decade of personal development, and I'm just now being like, I get it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the
so
thing
like,
for me because around that time, like I'm exposed. I'm doing it without knowing, but there's
mhm.
no label. Like no one's telling me that,
Yeah,
hey, this is personal development. It's just a part of me because of my household.
yeah.
Grew up in a Christian household. So my mom taught me biblical principles
Principles.
that which is the biggest personal development ever.
Mhm.
But but it's not labeled, it's not told. So
It's
even
not
then
taught
it
as
was
personal development. It's taught
yeah,
as biblical Christian principles. But if you guys really study the rest of personal development, it stems from literally all of The Bible.
Yep, that's where Neville Goddard got it. That's where Andrew Carnegie got it. That's where Earl Nightingale gets it. That's where John C. Maxwell gets it. Every we can keep going down the line.
Every single one.
Wow.
Everyone stems it from there. And the thing is, though, and that's why I think we've had this conversation on the call before, where we were saying how I was telling you about even people that don't believe in God, atheists. I've
Mhm.
met wealthy individuals that don't believe that there's a God, and
Hmm.
I ask them what do they study from, and they'll say the Bible. And I remember the first time I was just so blown away because I'm like,
They'll study from it, but they don't believe it.
Wow. That makes sense.
and I asked this one man, I was like, why? What does it benefit? But because there's layers. Now, if
Yep.
you're someone that has not yet done that yourself, has a personal relationship with God, I encourage it, of course. But there's layers. There is a practicality to the biblical principles, to personal development. It's law. That's what this book is talking about. Law. You follow law, you're going to get the results of it, no matter what. And that's what's wild. That is what's wild. Now, I feel like there is a difference with the people that tap in spiritually that do
Mm.
believe you have a different access, no doubt. You have different access, you have privilege, no doubt about it. You see more. When you understand your intuition, you're studying your higher faculty and you believe your belief system is in it, it's not just the principle, the results for you are different. It doesn't matter. You can say what you want to say, but it doesn't matter. And
Divinely protected.
that's sometimes what people see. Well, how come this person has the same or does the same or has the same vehicle or da da da, da, but they're at this level and this person's at this level? The belief, the spiritual part, that portion. But regardless, you follow the principle, you follow law, and you do it in the aspect of what it's saying. You're assuming the feeling, it's in repetition, it's a part of you. You gonna get all of it. It's gonna happen. And and when it was that, I was like, wow. And that's why some people, when they teach, they'll say, it's okay if you don't believe, look at it for the practical matters. Because these laws are laws that have gone on for years through different cultures,
Cultures, religions,
all of it.
backgrounds, different languages. It's
Yeah.
survived. It's
Said
survived
it, said in
so,
different ways.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's what's been really cool in my journey is having such a strong faith background and then getting exposed to these ideas to where at one point it was the most amount of friction and it was competing
Mm,
ideas. And I was like, what do you mean like consciousness and how do I how do I delineate that from God and who's Jesus? Like it was such a radical like thought process that I was like, okay, but truth knows truth and source knows source. And there was
mm.
just this common thread that I was like, okay, this might be said a different way. This might rub me the wrong way. But same thing in the Bible. When things rub you the wrong way, it's because it's purifying you. It's cleansing you.
It
And
stings.
if it stings, it's for you.
It's
And so there was the
disinfectant.
same thought process with this information. And I was just like,
So good.
there's something to it. So I just kept studying it. And now being full circle where I'm like, okay, this is just different language for the same thing that's in the Bible, but it's said from a thought process, brain, consciousness. Like nobody in the Bible talks about the subconscious and the conscious mind. It's just not there,
That's not the vocabulary.
the vocab. But it allows the human mind, us currently, to be able to delineate what is actually happening. And in the book, it
Hmm.
says the conscious mind is the realm of thought and reason, and that's the male brain. And we all have the left side brain, the male side brain. Like we always we equate left and right, But the subconscious mind is the realm of the feelings and the beliefs, which is the female, which is the receptive brain. And it's
Hmm.
like we have both the active,
Intuition.
yep, we have the active brain, and then we've got the receptive brain. And if we never tap into the receptive, the receiving side of it, and we only have one side of it, that's why
So
we're
good.
so active. Like people can be so active, they can do all of the work, all the reps, all the things, and then not receive anything.
Anything.
Because they don't know how to activate the feeling side, the feelings and the belief side. And so
So
this
good.
book talks about the activating the belief side. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective, whereas the conscious mind is personal and selective. And when you grow up in a culture in the world, I'm not just talking about my culture or our culture, I'm just talking about the world. Humans are meant to categorize. That's how survival works. We need to categorize and label things so that we can say safe, not safe,
Mm.
this, not that, go here, don't go here.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very personal and selective survival tactic. Whereas the subconscious mind's not survival tactic.
Hmm.
Subconscious mind is like, give me, impress every idea because it cannot reject the ideas.
Yeah. It was, yes. And it's good because right above that, and it ties it in. I love that it ties it into biblically in the book.
Mhm,
When it's talking about the verses, and right here, when it gives you the verse about Ephesians and it talks about the man and the woman and introducing that to now bring up the topic that you just said about conscious, objective, and subjective, right?
mhm.
But right here it says that the subconscious has a distinct distaste for, nope, I skipped a sentence. The subconscious does serve man and faithfully gives form to his feelings. That's what your subconscious does. It gives form to your feelings. It makes how you feel make sense. It helps you, in a weird way, see the feeling, right? And then it says, however, the subconscious does have no the subconscious has a distinct distaste or compulsion in response to persuasion rather than command. And then it continues to break that down to you, but and it says right here, consciousness is really one and undivided, but for creation's sake it appears as to be divided into two because
Yeah.
of what you just said. We need to understand so we can categorize.
Mhm.
We have to understand so we can see that it makes sense.
So
So,
good.
so good. So,
Uh, and it was like one more idea on that is like mere thoughts aren't enough. These thoughts must be emotionally charged to take root. And so
mm,
the feeling of those things is the factor. When you have an emotionally charged experience as a young kid, that dictates a lot throughout your life. And if you have an emotionally charged experience as an adult, it still has the same like emotional jolt, but it might not be stuck in your program for so long that same as something that happened as a kid did. And so we have to become very aware of our feelings in order to understand where the root cause of those emotionally charged moments came from. And if you can look at that moment and be like, really, that was the moment. As a kid, you take everything out of context because you don't know how to context, you don't know how the full context of the thing is. But as an adult, you
mm.
understand context more. And so just because a kid understands context in a completely different way, or they don't understand context at all, they just see what's happening in front of them,
You understand feeling.
they understand feelings. And so I learned so much from kids because they're just the most feelings-based things. They say whatever they want to say, right when they want to say it. They don't question. If you have kids at home, like I don't, but
Expressed.
I don't I don't have them at home. I don't have kids. But like Femi, for instance, like her kids will just come in when she's doing work, and it's like because they just have access. Because mom is mom. Mom, they don't understand that mom's working. They don't care. They're just like, "Mom's
Definitely
mom."
don't.
And this is what she does. She helps me with XYZ. And
Yeah,
so
that's
they
good.
like kids have such an incredible mind when it comes to this concept. And if we
Yeah,
can begin to think just a little bit, we don't have to act like children, but we can start to think like children and then use our rational brain to know when it is the right time and the right place to use our logical mind, our feelings, our beliefs, and our reason. Because if we
yeah,
can get those right and use those in a way that's conducive to what it is that we do for work, what it is that we do for our families, what it is that we do for leadership, then we can really grasp hold of like what is the right time, right place, right thing, right moment to have whatever moment you needed to have. So I think
hmm.
it's a really cool, but it's all feelings based. It's not logical. And I don't
Ooh,
know about you guys, but I don't do anything logical. I do a few things logical, but Femi and I are like the most two intuitive people that I think I've ever like. I knew I'm intuitive, but to meet somebody else that was just as intuitive as me, I was like, oh, this is fun.
no, for real. And I think that there is such a, I don't know if it's a misconception. I don't know what to call it, but because we grow up and we're in such a world that is logical, full of logic, be logical, right? Use reality, be realistic. But it's like because you're being realistic is why you have the life that you have, if we're being honest. But that's just the environment of, how. So before I get into my point, there are two, there are, for the people, so it makes sense, especially if you're rewatching this.
Yeah,
There
give
are
some
people
context.
that are on the same consciousness that are aware of the things that we're saying. So the way that life is operated, what is spoken of, it's different. And when people say, "Oh yeah, don't have to explain what's understood," that's only if you're on the same consciousness. That's it. And now we have another consciousness, which is the world, the 97% of the world that's on the same consciousness that takes logic as king. If it's not
Mm,
logical, then it doesn't make sense. But creation was created in the imagination.
yeah.
And it goes deep, but you have to understand. But just to Grace's point about children, and it even tells you biblically, like that's how curious God wants you to be. He wants you to be childlike, how expressive they are, how in the moment, in the raw emotion that they are. But the fact that, like Grace said, you're an adult, you can rationalize, you can utilize your intelligence and all the other components that you understand that children are still forming.
Yeah.
The raw feeling. And I was reading something in the book, on chapter one, like as you were saying that, and it was saying that a change of impression results in a change of expression. And then it was saying that basically your subconscious accepts as true as what you feel is to be true, right? That's what kids are in most of the time. Like that's full 100% mode. Like what I'm feeling is accurate, and that's what
Yep.
it is. And and obviously, as children, that's why we're around to guide them and help them. But there is a there is a key that's in that if you're able to continue to do it as a conscious adult.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you see both worlds. And when you see both worlds, you don't judge the next person for not understanding
Mm,
because you understand what consciousness they're on.
yeah.
And and again, like, and I think there's a part it says to seek on the outside of that which you do not feel, you you are you are that you don't feel that you are is to seek in vain. For we never find what which we want. We only find only that which we are. So that is in everything. How you come off to people, the things that you express, the things that you say, but really understanding that factor. And honestly, like I don't want to say logic is it's not necessary. We do need it for
We need logic in containers, and then we need like it needs structure. We need structure, and then we need the ability to flow in that structure.
yes, like it's because what happens when you feed full on into logic, you will lose access to your subconscious mind.
Yeah,
So, mastery and self-control, all of that is going to come from you understanding your subconscious mind, understanding your emotions. And I have on my wall, it says, execute with the mind, not emotions, but emotions guide you.
Mm, so it's like execute, not in the emotional feeling.
Yeah. It,
Yeah,
use the consciousness to execute for sure. But in creating the process to making that decision, tap into your subconscious because your subconsciousness is telling you everything that you need to know.
that's so good.
That's where it starts. There's so much in this one chapter.
There's so much in this chapter, and this is one of those things where it's like 30 pages. So like this is one of those books where you just
It's such an
read,
easy book.
just read it, read it, read it. You can read the whole book in a day. It's like an hour of an audiobook, but you can continually listen to it. And I challenge you guys to listen to it for 30 days straight and see what happens because there's
Mm.
so many books, so many audios that Femi and I have listened to for 30 days straight. And I'll commit to listening to, I wouldn't listen to the whole thing because I don't have an hour every single day, but 20 minutes of this book every single day for the
Or
next,
of a chapter.
yeah, it's like listen to one chapter. Um, every single day until you get through it for 30 days and see what happens in your next 30 days. I'll start it August 1st,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that would be a fun one to go through. Um,
Yeah, I love it.
but yeah, there's a part in this book where he talks about, because I get this question a lot is like, I feel bad, or this made me feel this way, or I feel terrible. I get those like, I'm not feeling great kind of like comments from people. And I'm like, because I always ask people how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of lead them into it. But he says, Never entertain an undesirable feeling, nor think
Mm.
of a system or think of sympathetically about wrong in any shape or form. Do not dwell. It doesn't mean don't acknowledge it. It just means don't dwell in it. You can
Sheesh.
say it. You can say, this is a problem or this thing, but don't ever attach you to the thing.
That's so good.
When we say, I am feeling bad, no, you have a symptom that hurting some part of your body. And you're like, it's not you, it's the symptom. Or XYZ, somebody hurt your feelings. It's still not you. So we don't dwell on it. Um,
That's
can
so
we
good.
acknowledge the fact that it is a thing? Sure, 100%. Don't deny feelings. That's a recipe for a disaster.
Mm.
Don't not even express them because that's even more of a recipe for a disaster. Point proven, like myself. Ask me about it later, but like don't dwell in a negative bad feeling because we're just subconsciously reprogramming that back into ourselves. So that was
That's
a
so
really
good.
cool.
Because it even around that of what you were saying, because the body is an emotional filter, and I think it says that too in that same page where
Mhm.
it's talking about that. And if you and I believe too, like literally in the next paragraph it says, think freely only of the state you desire to realize.
Yeah.
And I think that's so good what you said. Acknowledge, but don't attach. Don't say this is
Yeah.
what you are, this is how you're feeling, this is what no, like this is what the situation is. And we have to be so careful with our emotions because like the emotion guidance scale, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why it's said because the moment that you accept something, guess what part of your mind is already planting it and trying to make it a reality? Your subconsciousness. All it does is receive. That's why there's no humor and negative. People are like, oh yeah, I'm broke. Nah, I'm
Doesn't
wealthy.
work.
I'm abundant. Because your mind is really processing that and it starts planting it.
The mind
And then you
doesn't
wonder
understand.
why certain things you start being attracted to certain things or you start now talking certain ways and stuff because you already accept, oh well, this is where I'm at and you're already accepting it. And it even talks about it goes into that same paragraph where it talks about diseases and things that
Yeah.
your body and your environment, it the beginning of it is you voicing it and expressing it. Because if we really want to be very, like, if we, let's be very specific. The definition of future, look it up. It says the moment that you speak, the moment that you say, that's the future. That's
The
the
moment.
definition of future.
Wow.
The moment that it is spoken, it is thought, it's already the future. Why? We got it in the book right here. The subconscious receives it and starts planting it and then starts watering it. Then now by tomorrow, that same thought you were saying, it's already a seedling in your mind, basically. It's already growing roots, or it's already sprouting. But now, and it's gonna take, and the reason why it's repetition and it takes long because there's so much to reprogram. Reprogramming takes time, you guys. So why
Mhm.
would you intentionally keep programming your stuff with things that you don't need or want? You're adding to what's already there. We already have to deroot so much stuff. We're already in that process.
Yeah.
So, like people not paying attention to this portion and then really attaching themselves to the that and it's the same thing that Bob Proctor says. That's just the frequency you choose to be on.
Mm.
It is possible for something bad to be happening and you don't attach yourself to feeling bad. Some people might look at you like you're crazy. Like, why are you so calm right now? Because I'm not receiving that into my frequency. I'm not going to detach where my spirit is to match yours. I'm not going
Mm.
to. Because I already know what that process is doing. You think it's normal because, that's how people are. Something happens, let's all panic and freak out. No, the person that stays calm is the person that's able to see through everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that those things aren't, like I had a friend that was saying, that was telling us when we went to the event, Orlando event, because we had a big event in Orlando, and he was saying how he politely turned down going to a funeral, and his family was like, "Why aren't you going?" And he's like, "I don't have the capacity
To do that.
to do that, to now, because I'm on a high. This is what I've been doing for months." And now I'm seeing the results and I'm seeing the frequency, I'm seeing the energy, I'm seeing what I'm receiving from all that work. I'm not going to put myself in a state that's the opposite of that.
Mm.
Does that mean he doesn't care about
Yeah.
his family? Of course not. But he understands what's at stake subconsciously. And if we actually took our time to look at every word, every action, everything we did, at this capacity of what Grace said, don't attach yourself to stuff like that. Stop accepting that. Stop saying I'm exhausted. Stop saying I'm tired. Stop saying I don't feel good. Stop saying that something has control. You're giving away control. You're giving away energy. You're giving it away. So of course you're not gonna get what you want.
You're
It's so
giving
real.
you're giving it away to a point where you're powerless. when in fact, if you just claimed your power, you would have it.
And it says that what you must acquire then is a reflective control of the operation of the subconscious that is. Control your ideas and feelings. Control it. You can control it. You. That doesn't mean you won't be impacted by what's around, Because everything has a frequency. Everything does. It's kind
Everything.
of like I don't know if you guys have been to like the places where every room is a different vibe. Like sometimes like music, there'll be a different DJ on every floor, or like there'll be a different restaurant or layer, and every time you go to one stage, it's a different thing. That's the same exact thing with emotions and
Yep.
process. Everything is flying around all the time. I can go outside right now and it's a completely different atmosphere from what I created in my room, in my office where I'm at.
Yep. This one's pretty cool. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and feel as true, the subconscious can and must objectify. Your feelings create the pattern from which your world is fashioned, and a change of feeling is a change of pattern. So
A
when you
change of
finally,
feeling
when you finally change the feeling
is a
of the
change of
pattern,
pattern.
yep.
Sheesh.
So if you've been doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and you have the same feeling attached to it, you're creating a deeper pattern. And then when you can finally identify the pattern and then change the feeling, have a different feeling associated with that pattern, that's when you change the way in which the world works for you.
Wow.
Like, oh my God. When I realized that over the last like 2 months, I was like, wow.
Change the feeling, change the pattern.
Yep, change the feeling, change the pattern. I think Femi's brain just broke.
Because when you needed to hear something
Yep.
and your brain's like, that's it. Did you pick it up? Did you get it?
That's what I did. Anytime you guys get stuck on like a good pause, like you hear something and that's the thing, you're just like, wow, change the feeling, change the pattern. Dude, I was stuck on a marketing concept for like 3 days. And I was like, people like us do things like this. And that was the only thing I was like stuck on this one concept because it was the thing that I was missing and it made everything make sense. And so those are like the good loops that you're allowed to get stuck in because those are the things that have been ingrained in you at such a level that it hits so deep that you're like, wow, that's what I've been missing. Those things are good to repeat.
So good. That's why I love learning, bro.
I love it.
That's
Man,
so good. Yeah, I love that. And let me
change
let
the
me and
feeling.
let me write that to what you said earlier.
Change the feeling, change the pattern.
Don't entertain the feeling.
Yeah, definitely don't entertain negative feelings.
Yeah. For what? And I think that's one thing that KT had taught very well. The moment, because we're not perfect and we can be saying this, but you guys may still entertain negativity. You guys still may implant things that you shouldn't be implanting because of where you're at and the habit you're in. And it is what it is. But the moment that you're aware that you're in any type of emotion on the downward spiral,
Mhm.
the very next thing to do is to get to the next feeling. Work your way back up.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's the emotional guidance scale. Um, Abraham Hicks emotional guidance scale.
Yeah. And because the goal is not to be in denial about what's happening. Like
Mhm.
Grace said, acknowledge it. We're not saying don't pretend like it's not there, but don't attach yourself to it. But the moment that you realize, dang, like I do feel bad, change your words first of all, immediately, and be like, you know what, I'm gonna get better, and then go to the next emotion. So if you're upset or angry, the next emotion to get to is neutral. And then from neutral, do something that makes you happy or do something that is a healthy, positive, you know, outlook or habit or something. Because we can, I don't even like to tell people, yeah, just do what makes you feel good because what makes you feel good is it could be negative. It could
Mhm.
be pulling you right back into the old habits. So that's why I said do something that is healthy and that is going to bring a positive feedback out of you, some way, some shape, some form. And sometimes that's simple things like going for a walk, changing your environment,
Doing something creative.
drinking some water, putting your phone away, going outside and taking deep breaths.
Wim Hof. Do some breath work.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Because I used to tell people like, yeah, do what makes you feel good, and then it's 3 p.m. and you're drunk. I didn't say go
I didn't mean that.
right. You know what I mean? Because that keeps you in the downward spiral. Like that's why I said healthy. Anything that's healthy, anything that's going to help clear your mind, that is going to put you towards a positive direction back.
Gratitude walks.
Exactly.
When you
Journaling.
sit by some flowing water. Yeah.
Yeah. Or listening to
Crazy.
powerful audio. Sometimes,
Hmm.
and it's funny because sometimes I don't want to do that because I already know the moment I start listening to it, it's gonna make me feel uncomfortable. And I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna let go of the feeling that I'm feeling because like there's an accountability when you're listening to something that's so powerful and you know that is true. What you
Hmm.
gonna do? You can't deny it. It's there.
Hmm.
And sometimes that's why that is my go-to. I'm like, the moment this man starts talking, I'm gonna be like, what was I upset about?
Yeah.
And it's real. And just giving ourselves that habit because then what happens subconsciously, you'll create a pattern of now the moment things try to go wrong or those emotions try to come and bombard, your body already starts gearing you up and already knows what to do and is already setting a game plan immediately.
That's so
So
good.
yeah, it's really good. I know we're about to wrap
But
up here. Is there anything that you wanted to add, Grace?
there was one last thing that I was reading. It was like, you are already that which you want to be, and your
Mm.
refusal to believe this is the only reason you don't see it. It's your own refusal to see it, or
Ooh,
it's your own.
read that again. Read that again. Hold on for the
Yeah,
people in the back.
you are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason that you don't see it.
Hmm.
Ugh. Ouch.
Definitely.
Ha ha ha.
That one
That's
hurt.
good. That's so funny. Cause like the moment you started reading it, I found it and I was looking at it and I'm like,
You're like,
wow, you are already that which you want to be.
Hmm.
You're just refusing it. You heard it here first
you
and
heard
in the
it.
book.
Like, you read it
But
here
you guys
first.
grab this book, The Feeling is a Secret. I dropped the PDF. I'll drop it in our channel. Um, listen to the audio. And if you are someone that really wants it embedded, Grace was talking in the beginning about listening to it in the audio because it's almost like a meditative state. And subconsciously you start receiving it. So even doing that, reading it before bed or
Literally
using it
fall
as a
asleep
meditation
listening
in
to
the
it.
middle of the day or falling asleep to it. Yeah. And it's so funny because like I know it's real when I fall asleep to Bob Proctor or KT because when I wake up, I'm hearing something from that audio or from that
Yep.
thing, and I'm like, why did I just say that? Like, but
Like, because
I've
those are
been
the things.
yeah, I've been endousing myself the entire night in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really good. Sheesh.
And like, stop falling asleep to TV and movies.
Mhm.
because those are also being impressed upon your subconscious mind.
Yep.
They are.
So, like, pick something that is at least going to impress upon you a worthwhile message. Whatever you choose that to be, that's up to you. So, I just remember friends in high school and college that would listen to like murder mystery shows falling asleep, and I'm like, well, why? Like,
Mm.
why?
Oh,
And it
it's
would
so interesting.
no. I
What's
was like,
so
no wonder
interesting
you can't
about it?
sleep. I was like,
Yeah,
you
but
wonder
people
why
wonder why they have the thoughts that they have,
Exactly.
they
why they're
impressed upon your
intrigued by
subconscious.
certain things.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You're giving your mind that space to be intrigued.
Yeah.
Oh
So like
man,
it's like
that's
that
good.
would just devastating to your mind. So this was a really good conversation. I'm excited for the rest of it. We might touch on the next chapter. So like read chapter one again. I'll read chapter one again, and then next
Same.
week we'll go through chapter two, but we'll also touch back on chapter one, and we'll probably just keep that cadence going for the rest of this book.
Mhm.
But August 1st, I'm gonna start listening to at least 25 minutes of this book or at least one chapter. We'll make it simple. One chapter of the book every single day for 30 days.
hmm Yep, let's do it. I love this book so much. It's so good. So good. But thank you so much for everyone that came on, everyone that's rewatching this. Bring a friend, send this to someone, read the book, watch what happens throughout the week.
Yeah,
Pay attention to the things that happen throughout the week. It's so real. Like the moment you decide, man, I'm telling you, things just start happening for you. But Grace, as always, sis, I'm so grateful for you. I love that I get to do these calls with you and um we stay on that consistency of always choosing growth.
Yeah.
We could take a
mhm.
break on business and other things, but the fact that we never slow down with our minds, that's why we made these calls, and this is why we are continue to, you know, evolutionize these calls into so much stuff. I'm so excited for what's coming, but I'm grateful for you. Thank you for always showing up no matter what. You are amazing. Grateful to
Thank-
do it alongside you, and I will see you next Saturday.
Thanks, T, for
You
hopping on
ladies,
live.
you ladies enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. Thank y'all. This was great.
Good. Hope you're
Very
doing
good.
amazing. Yep. Hey. All right, guys. We'll see you next Saturday. Bring a friend, and we will hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.
Stay positive.